So let's talk a little bit about R. Kelly, the Black community, and how we continue to fail Black women and girls. In this situation in particular, I feel like I've heard a lot of complaints about the Black community from the Black community. We've got to talk about what's wrong in the Black community that we've allowed this to happen, which sounds a little bit to me like we've got to talk about Black on Black crime. I'm not saying the Black community is without its issues. I am saying that one of the main issues facing the Black community is internalized racism. It's the fact that we've been taught to turn on ourselves. The thing about racism is that it's a double-edged sword. It separates the advantaged from the disadvantaged, as well as the disadvantaged from each other. Here's what I mean by this. Let's look at how whiteness was created in this country. Whiteness was created because rich slave owners saw their poor indentured European servants working alongside their kidnapped African slaves in the field and getting a little too chummy. So to create a division and secure themselves against an uprising which they surely would have lost, they created whiteness as a bonding agent and told their European servants, you guys are better than your Negro counterparts inherently because you're white. Even though these servants had in every other sense more in common with their brothers and sisters in chains, they were convinced by their owners that their whiteness made them more like them, more privileged. To really hammer shit home, the slave owners then gave the servants whips and horses and made them overseers in the fields. This exact mechanism is still at work today. First of all, this is exactly how and why Donald Trump won the vote of poor white people in the Midwest who were fooled into believing that he gave even one single fuck about them. And this is exactly how and why disadvantaged people turn on each other and continue to remain disenfranchised. Racism divides and divides again. If R. Kelly had raped and kidnapped a bunch of little white girls, he would have been in jail decades ago. So then what's the difference? Why isn't there the same outrage for little Black girls? Why instead do we get excuses about how these girls were probably fast, or they wanted the attention, or they should have known better? What have we been taught about Black women and girls that makes us think that they're worth less, that they're probably more promiscuous, that we're asking for sexual abuse? Yes, the poison is in the Black community, but it didn't start there. We were taught to hate ourselves. We were taught to not protect ourselves and our children, especially women and girls. We were taught to turn on each other. So instead of acting like the Black community is the only one rotting from the inside, realize that the poison is all around us. And there's no way to just prune the branches. We have to chop it at the root.